Hey, Hot Atlanta. This is Real Sean Irish coming at you. The topic for today's talk uh, is the state your God, your Father? Just curious. I'm asking. I have to ask the question because the reason I asked that question is because the Democrats seem to think that that's the way it ought to be, despite all their protestations and all their public proclamations of faith. They don't seem to have much faith at all. In fact, they want you to believe in government more than anything. Uh, Yesterday, I had the opportunity to tour through any number of, let's call it disadvantaged neighborhoods. You could say they're economically disadvantaged, but in Atlanta, that goes straight on color lines. And so we're talking about low or low income, maybe now mixing in with a tad of gentrification, maybe a little bit of middle income African American. But for the most part, these neighborhoods have been trashed by 30, 40 years of Democratic politics here in Atlanta. And that's just the way it is. And you got to wonder, because they've had decades to take care of this. In fact, I saw relatively new buildings yesterday that had to be put up in the 80s, maybe the 90s, maybe just before the Olympics in some of these neighborhoods. And it's a big, large swath of Atlanta going out to the west. And those buildings were standing empty. No self-respecting business wants to move in there. No independent business wants to move in there. I mean, you could put in a wing joint, you could put in a gas station, you could put in a convenience store, you could put in a check cashing place. You could sell lotto tickets. That's what you get here in the hood. You can sell alcohol all day long in the hood. And there's all sorts of other things you can't buy in the stores that people sell all day long in the hood. And that's how it rolls, man. That's just how it rolls down here. You're not going to get a Macy's. You're not going to get a Kohl's. You're not going to get a Target over here in those neighborhoods. I even saw a CVS, that was boarded up. How do you put up a CVS and it can't make it? It gets boarded up. I mean, how does that happen? That's how disadvantaged, let's say, these neighborhoods are. How neglected is probably a better word than disadvantaged. Because when you see the money that's going on, that's being spent all over Atlanta to build and renovate and change and upgrade the public image, you got to wonder. The Democrats seem to have a lot of money. It's our money. Let's be real about that. It's our money. It's your money and my money, and all the taxpayers and ratepayers and all the bondholders and all that. It's our money. They just don't seem to be spending it where it could do the most good. They're spending it where it's going to make them look good. That's a totally different thing. As we all know, like I said, if you're following, I'm sitting in a different direction today. If you're following, let's see, where John Lewis's money comes from, okay? John Lewis's money comes from here, all right? Not so much over here. Not so much. Whole lot. Not so much. $5-10 here. Big money over here. Okay? Just saying. So maybe John Lewis has something to do with this. But the trend I see is this. And this is a Democratic trend. Ever since Johnson's Great Society, what was the end result of the Great Society? We have the luxury and the benefit of history to show us how the Great Society worked out. I'm going to say it tore black families apart like nothing. Nothing since Bill Clinton's 3 strikes and you're out bill. So there's 2 Democratic presidents, not in a row. This is a long-term plan. Not in a row, but the Great Society gets essentially already disadvantaged black families hooked on government money. There's no time limitation, so they stay on the government money. You have multi-generations of families growing up, on that government cheese, as we used to say when I was a kid, eating all that good government cheese, right? Oh man, this stuff was horrible. I had 1 block of that one time. It was like, ugh, nasty. I mean, if you're starving, it's good. If you ain't got any money, it's a whole lot better than nothing. But let's just say they're not pushing entrepreneurship. They're not pushing self-reliance. They're not pushing, basically training women how to have babies. I mean, literally, yeah. You can find that in the hood all day long. How to training women how to take care of, raise babies, buy groceries, and do the things they need to do with all their government money, so they can get more government money. That's what the Democrats are good at. They're not good at teaching people how to make make their books, you know, how to do bookkeeping, how to do practical skills. You can get some practical skills, and you can get some funding for some practical skills, but it seems like the Democrats always want you on the dole somewhere, because the Democrats are always big about putting out other people's money to solve their problems. They never seem to be able to solve this poverty problem. It doesn't matter how much money they throw at it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You see a pattern here? They seem to want to roll in a bunch of illegal immigrants now, because a lot of those folks want to get on the dole. They could get on the dole easier than say, a family here in the States. And the problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger. They never get it under control. They never get poverty under control. They never get homelessness under control. They never get drug abuse under control, the Democrats. They can't even let it run free range. Oh, God, no. You've got to herd all that stuff. You've got to herd it all into a little container, a little area, and that container would be called, you know, high percentage Democratic voters. Do you see a pattern here? Because once you're on the dole, and once you can just sit on your ass and collect a check, there's no incentive for you to do anything. And if you know the Democrats are always going to support other people's money funding your lazy ass, I hate to say it, that's just how it is. Because if you're being inculcated and raised to be a lazy ass, because and maybe, you know, maybe it didn't start that way, maybe it's become that way. So I'm not slamming anybody. I'm just saying, man, I'm living a whole building of folks that don't work. There's probably 3 or 4 of us here, maybe a few more. The number varies a little bit. There's a lot of turnover. There's probably 3 or 4 of us here that actually have actual jobs. But for the most part, folks in my building don't work. It's not that they're all on welfare. There's something else going on, probably. Which, frankly, is none of my business. And I'm going to keep it that way. That's just how I roll. Because I think people have the right to live their own lives and make their own mistakes. I think that's awesome. That's how you grow up. That's how you learn. Or how you stay in the same place for decades and generations. Now, back to the Democrats. They love these low information voters. All they know is where their welfare, where their check, where their food stamps, where their assistance, where their Section 8, where their free health care comes from. That's what they know. Okay? And you know who it really comes from? I got a real job. I pay real taxes. Without the money of people who have real jobs and pay real taxes, none of that stuff exists. Not a bit of it. It doesn't come from the Democrats. Get over that. Get that stuff, get that crap out of your head right now. It's bullshit. Bolshevik. It's literally Bolshevik bullshit. It's all communist bullshit. They want your money. I don't care if you're dealing, slinging rock out on the street. The Democrats still want your money. They're happy to go ahead and wait until you get a nice big delivery and sell most of that, and the cops know you got a big roll in your pocket. They'll come and grab you with a little bitty teeny rock or two, catch you for distribution, and grab that wad of money from your pocket and confiscate it. They want your money. They don't care if you're paying taxes or not. Do you understand how this works? It's real simple. If you aren't Demex it now, see where my hand is right here? And that's not any motion of any threat to anybody, but see where my hand is? From there up, you are dead to the world, man. You are dead to yourself. You ain't even thinking. From there down, you are useful to the Democrats, because this hand can go in and punch that little electronic vote, or make that little check mark on that paper ballot, and that's all they want. And you can also, with this hand, you can collect that good government cheese that they want to dole out to you every month in those little limited slices. You can collect all that good government cheese. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Until you learn to get off your own butt and learn how to solve your own problems and make yourself valuable to somebody other than yourself, so that you can have a job and income and some self-reliance and some independence, it is always going to be that way. And let me tell you, Democrats have nothing for you. They haven't got a damn thing. And it's not that the Republicans are that much better. They have a different game, a different focus, a different strategy. We'll talk about that another day. They don't really care about poor people. I mean, they're happy to make money off you if they can, so a lot of them side with the Democrats, because the Democrats have a really good game going. They got all this good PR, they own the media, more or less, and it's all bullshit. but it's all free right now until the mass media collapses, which I see is happening in the near future. I don't think they can last another 18 months. They're losing viewership and readership as fast as people can put up their own channels. People like me, and I'm not talking about I'm going to bring them down. I'm talking about we independent people are going to bring the mass media down because they're full of Bolshevik, literally, just full of Bolshevik. So here we go. The whole plan of social Marxism, which really the end goal of socialism is communism. That's what Lenin said. But the whole goal of social Marxism is to replace, let's say, God or father or parents, that whole parent figure in society, and most especially in the families, to break up the families and replace the God or the father with government, with the state. The state becomes your dad, the state becomes your God. Next thing you know, you're praying to the state. So people that say that communism has no, is a-religious or irreligious, don't know what they're talking about. In communism, the state is the religion. That's the thing you believe in. You got to believe in the state. The state will never harm you. The state will always help you. Even when they throw your ass in prison, they want you to know, when they confiscate all your shit because you got a couple of rocks on you, and you've been working your ass off trying to get yourself out of the ghetto, and they throw you in prison for a few years, and you get butt raped, and you learn how to wear your pants all down by your knees, and you learn how to talk ghetto, and you get out and you go back in, and you get out and you go back in. The recidivism rate is ridiculous, and you don't learn a damn thing in prison except how, I don't know what the fuck. But even then, it's for your own good. The Democrats want you to know that it's for your own good. You believe that? You see that mark again? That's a line. That's not a threat. That's a line. From the head up, you don't exist. From here down, oh, they got you. They got you by the short and curlies, brother, sister. They got you by the short and curlies, because the state is your God. The state is your father.